thousands of years ago. The elders would gather the children up and tell these creation stories. Before we're here as human beings, there was just the spirits that were here. The Creator assigned each spirit a different animal, certain animal. The eagle was given that title of being the chief of all the birds because of his strength, his wisdom, his power. Way back, when a young person becomes old enough to go out hunting, there's always somebody watching and keep track of the good deeds that these young people did. They'll mark those coup sticks, and after they get so much on there, the next gift will be an eagle feather. Eventually, they'll get enough to make a headdress out of it. People can look at him and say, oh, he's come a long way. Come is genuine hey, is niet goed, is boosts. Look is husig, look good mis. Look at what emotion. Look at hot. Nem wat yo twitch. Nem hoe je kessen kussen.
Do you want to hear about that whole night, or do you want to hear about...
As much as you're willing to talk to us about.
Josiah was my eldest son. He was my world. Every morning he'd wake up, he'd kiss me, tell me, "Good morning, Mom." Then he'd scream really loud through the hallways, all the way up the stairs, just singing. Sunday night came along. I didn't get a phone call all day. And then that night, my phone got crazy. It went crazy, crazy. "Sherry, get to the hospital. Sherry, come here." And like, "Sherry, your son committed suicide." I was like, "Fuck you." I said, "Don't tell me that." I parked my Suburban right in the middle of a parking lot. They ran past everybody. The hospital was already packed. And the doctor looked at me, he's like, "Are you the mother?" And I said, "Yeah." He looked at the time and he called his time. And I said, "No. Not my baby, no." Cop came in and he had a folded up piece of paper. And he's like, "Your son left a note. Let me read it to you guys. Tell my family I love them. Tell them I'm sorry. I never wanted to be the bad guy." And that was it.
Suicide has always been a major problem across Montana and the country, but now the rates are growing by the day.
On an average day, 15 Montanans try to take their own lives.
There's been a 200% increase in the last half century.
Montana's Native Americans have the highest rate of suicide in a state that already has one of the highest rates in the country.
way back, suicide wasn't something that was a common occurrence like it is today. Think about the reason why things are happening today and that they didn't happen back then. We have to rethink some of the things and reestablish who we really are. The values of life have changed. The values of who we are as people have changed.
All right, fellas, take a breath.
2 basketball players from 2 Eagle committed suicide.
2 very young, gifted players, Walter and Josiah.
Everybody knows everybody. And Walter and Josiah in particular, it affected a lot of people.
It affected everybody. Nobody could function, like literally, like teachers couldn't function, students couldn't function. It was like a huge hit.
The thing I think about most is what pushed them to do it, what hurt their heart so much that they had to go.
With what happened with Walter and Josie, tore our team apart. A lot of our team kind of stopped at a lot of things, kind of quit going to school, kind of didn't really play basketball no more.
Go, go, go! Come on, Travis.
This epidemic or whatever it is, it's like a gut punch.
I still question myself why, or, why did Walter and Josiah have to do this, They could still be here with us today.
It should be his senior year, not just ours. It should be his too. He should be on this team with us, playing with us. And
a lot of us are hurting, We're trying to bring each other together. And in memory of Walter and Josie, we're trying our hardest to keep each other going.
This last year, it's changed a lot.
The majority of us are still lost, though. It's hard to pull each other together when you're all lost.
What do you do with these kids that have been thrown here and told they were never gonna amount to nothing?
Dude, I've seen so much improvement just day by day with you. Amazing.
DJ, he loves to build the kids up. He's a positive role model. He's trying to teach the kids, on and off the court, this is how you're supposed to act. This is what you're supposed to do.
These guys are my life, man.
Come on, Shade.
So I see these kids most of the day. I practically helping raise them, and that's all educators across the whole nation. We help raise our youth and help the parents with that.
Can't go full length, then come back in 3/4. You're cheating yourself one little section. Yep.
To me, he's like a big brother, he's like an uncle. And when I first met him, man, this guy's cool, He's one of a kind of guy.
Keep it straight. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, 90. What you want is your 90-degree here.
We have some awesome players come through, and DJ happened to be one of them. He's very small in stature, but he is dynamite. I used to call him like Mighty Mouse or Superfly. He holds the school record for the most points scored in a game. He would charge the crowd up. We'd pack the gym. They had a lot of success. And he went on to college to play basketball.
We get these done, we can move on to the next,
I could have chose to play more. I had my first kid, right out of high school, 2004. I graduated. He was born in November. My life wasn't about me no more.
There's just a lot of things that he's been through that we're going through, and he knows how we feel about everything.
Good D.
How do you re-break down kids that are already broke down to build them back up? How do we do this? Those are questions I ask myself every day. I notice a lot with our kids, and especially around here, that they choose not to survive.
One thing I believe is part of this trend in suicide deals with the treatment of Native American Indian people throughout history. There's a boarding school system that they indoctrinated these native people that your hair is too long, cut your hair, your eye color is no good, your skin color is no good, your language is no good, your religion is no good. So there was a lot of self-hatred.
A very large percentage of Native peoples from the late 1870s through the 1930s and somewhat thereafter attended these boarding schools, and also known as Indian schools.
I went to a boarding school until the 2nd grade. Trying to become something you're not affects you inside to the point to where you can't do it. It produced a lot of other problems.
We have high substance abuse issues, and that stems from trying to cover up the pain from those traumas with alcohol and drugs, and which in turn left people my age without parents.
Mark Twain had written an essay where he said the solution to the Indian problem would require 2 things, soap and education. He said, soap because we're dirty human beings and we need to be cleaned up. The education part, he said, was the most important. He said, we have to concentrate on the children. If we took the children, put them in our schools, taught them our language, taught them our beliefs, our values, in a few generations, the problem would be solved. From today's perspective, that's probably one of the worst things you could do to a people.
It wasn't just like any school environment where any kid will struggle with certain issues. It was far more traumatic than that. Sports was something that was a refuge in the boarding school experience. Basketball was something not only that they loved to do, but as an outlet for trauma, for emotional trauma, for social trauma. That's always been something positive in their lives, even when there's not a lot positive going on.
Jeff, the one and only?
No. Wait. Oh yeah, I'm the one and only. This is my brother Tyler, Pierre, my younger brother. People think we're French, but we're not. Like I'll meet some new people and they'll ask me what's my name and I'll be like, my name's Travis Pierre, and they'll be like,
You French?
French? Are you French? And I'll be like, nah, I'm not.
No,
'Cause I'm native. I'm on my senior year. This is Tyler's freshman year, so my mom's happy that we're actually going to be playing on the same school this year.
Oh, wow. Get that rebound!
Basketball is kind of a way to get out of the res and off of it and to better places, but Twigo's family here. And I'd rather stay here than going to a different school where people don't treat me like family.
Oh, get that shit out of here.
All these kids have their own stories. Travis, he certainly came from a background that wasn't the best.
What's wrong? You want some? I've never had a dad. He's always been in and out of prison, and he's not in our life no more. My mom got in like 2 car crashes. I in a car crash and almost died, so. She was too drunk and she was swerving and she hit a truck. I didn't get the call till the next morning.
You're going to be teaching me ball, right?
I had all this pressure put on me to raise Nisa, Tyler, and they were telling me, oh, you gotta make sure these guys are all right. All that pressure, I don't know, it just hurts. To me, how I see it is basketball. It's an escape for me. I could be having a rough time at home or at school, and I grab a ball and I go shoot around and forget about all the bad times. Like, I have a lot of responsibility at the house now. After all this stuff that's happened, it makes me feel more of a man though. Life on this reservation it's different than other places.
these kids grow up across the railroad tracks in our little housing projects that we have. Section 8, most people know them as.
Pablo is kind of a trench town, you know? It's I like to say it or not, it's ghetto.
There's two sides of the Pablo. The left-hand side of Pablo is all rough side. The right-hand side of Pablo is kind of all the nice, non-tribal side.
We live in like what they call the suicide belt, you know, all along the Rocky Mountain front. Why? Is it the elevation? Is it the lack of sunlight? But I know that it's not an experience that is okay. We have to fix it.
It isn't something that you need to sympathize with. It's something you need to understand, you know. We got here to this place in this way. It's what's in our path. It's what's in our road. We have to address it in order to get through this.
Now we need to come together as a community to reverse this, and that means everybody. We are in an epidemic. It's scary. It's like, it's scary.
Growing up on the reservation is different from other places. Being Native American, we're looked at different by a lot of people. We're kind of looked at as less. So being at an all-Native school, it's awesome to me because I could be myself. Whenever I step out of my bubble and go to other places, it's everybody for themselves, you know? I moved over to North Dakota with my mom, and I got in with the wrong crew over there. I kind of started into a gang. They were into pills and into spice and into drinking. But I realized where my life was going at that point, and I knew that wasn't the life that I wanted, so I moved back and started playing basketball. We have a lot of rough families, you know, their kids being thrown around house to house, you know, dealing with CPS and dealing with this and that, and it ends up, you know, a person can only take so much. I looked at Walter as a little brother, and I was always around him, you know? He was always at my house. We was always hanging out, you know? That was just like, it's more emotional for me, you know? Like, it was tougher, I should say. We were super close, though, me and Walter. When I found out about Walter, I was sleeping in my bed, and my dad woke me up and told me that Walter was dead. And I didn't believe him, but he was crying, though. And my dad don't ever cry that I see, you know? So I knew it was serious. Weeks before his suicide, I was hanging out with Walt, and he asked me a question that was really deep. You know, like, he asked me, what if he was gone? You know, what would I think about it? Then I took it into my hands and told him, you know, like, what are you feeling, Walt? Like, what are you going through? He didn't even respond to me, you know? He just kind of stared off into the field where we were parked at, and life just moves forward. It's almost just like live television, you know, you can't fast forward it or nothing, you just gotta watch it, you know. As you look at it in a pattern, it's always the person that's so bright. All of my cousins, the ones who killed themselves, you know, Ashley, Josiah, so it's kind of like a shock, you know, like, of course you don't believe it. You know, it is hard to lose these people, but, you know, you can't sit there and let it hurt you to the point where you're just not gonna do nothing. all we could do is remember them. Now I could live my life in remembrance of them, you know, and kind of like represent, you know, like represent them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Just like I'd wear two eagle on my shirt, you know, I wear them on my back. I want to be a person people could look up to and say, yo, look, Keyshawn did this and he did that. You guys are all my brothers, you know, and I'm proud of all you guys too, just like Laya said. And that's how I want to make my team feel. But I could always think of ways to push my boys, you know, to keep them going, encourage them to not drink, you know, to stay on the path and do right, you know, keep pushing forward.
Going against the Arley Warriors defending state championship team, everybody's looking to take down Arley. The environment here is different, way different than Pablo. It's our first conference game now, and I don't want to sound all clingy or cliche, but I'm just going to play for Walter and Josie.
We have a lot of newcomers that never ever played organized ball. Our kids are like throwing them out there and get your feet wet and let's see what you got. Shake it off, okay? Keep your head up, shake it off.
I'm telling you guys too, catch, ready, shoot. Get your hands out ready, man. Be ready to shoot that jumper. Get ready for in case Dom or whoever dishes it down low. And they're jumping for everything too. So you pump fake, jump, get them in the air, freaking lean into them.
Play hard, play with your heart all the way through, okay, fellas?
Right here, this is where it's all right here, your heart. Some of them got their jitters out of the way. You know, it's only a first game. You know, we played a really tough team.
You learn a lot from losing. You learn a lot from failing. Their heart was excellent today in the game. Once we get them to work hard and everything, and work on their basics and all that, and their discipline and everything, that discipline with the heart, it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be a big threat.
We need to work on our chemistry, we need to work on our endurance, we need to work on everything. And it's a lot we need to work on, but we can get it done.
I've been driving for True Eagle River School since November of 2012. I like interacting with the kids, and a part of that job is driving for sports, and I loved I'm gonna lose it. Watching my boy play. Right, here's pictures of him when he was a baby. Suicide, I don't know what gets it in their mind. With Walter, I think it was a lot of build-up. He did talk about it before, and I thought he was doing better. He was a real good kid. He had a lot of potential. He always told me that basketball was life. He loved playing basketball. His last game, he did play against the Arley Warriors. And we didn't know, that was gonna be the last time. the seniors, I've been with them through their whole basketball season at Two Eagle, and I've watched them play, and I've watched them play with Walter, and don't know if I can, make it to the games. And sure, he's got his initials over there, and you can see his friends sign their names to his wall. I'm gonna try, but it just, I've basically go to work, go home, and hibernate in my room. That's all I do. I don't know if it's better to talk when it's still fresh, or if I got to give myself more time to process. But eventually I know I got to talk to somebody.
This time of year, and especially when the snow's on the ground, is most sacred to our story of our identity, our story of who we are as a people and where we come from. The animal people helped in laying the foundation for those of us to come spiritually. He laid that foundation for us to keep things in order and to keep that value in place. And so I give thanks today for this time of this space and place. I come here to these grounds and ask for the road of these kids, because it gives order to my life, to our life as a people. The smoke provides for us every day in our prayer, in our song, in our walk, and the road that we make for ourselves. Say lemlem shkulin sutin, husukil kukiniats milk papa wasia.
Some people, they talk about how our natives are lost. And I'd say the reason that is because there's two worlds that I live in. I live in this white man's world, and I live in the Native American world. That's our culture, that's our drumming, our singing, our dancing, our language. All that just all coming together, and it's waiting for them, and it'll make them strong. Some people look up to Jordan and LeBron. Those are my Jordan and LeBrons to me. I want to be like Patulik Pierre. I want to be like Willie Kai, Louis Kai, Uncle Junior Kai. Because to me, those are the guys I look up to. I want to be just like them when I grow up.
I look up to Elias, I look up to Elias a lot. When he sees something going wrong, he'll say something. The drum pushes him to want to be a better person for his community and for his well-being and his person,
That drum I got from my tupia, that's my great-grandma. I sing, I go to like medicine dances, I go to lodges. I didn't realize it until I got a little bit older, these things I've been picking up. Like as a culture, that's just who we are. And when I lost Josiah and Walter, the only place I wanted to be was with his body. I wanted to be around everybody that was gonna be there. And when we go to funerals and stuff, they sing these hymns. And whenever I hear those hymns, it strengthens my heart that much more. In the dictionary that we have, the Kasunka dictionary, Nipika translate into spirit, creator, God. All I could do is thank Nipika for what he's given me. To me, this reservation is home. I want to work for the tribe. I love it here.
Let it breathe.
he did it. Foreshadow. Resurrected.
Now we're hitting the end of December pretty close. We know what they need to work on. We know their strengths and weaknesses. We need a lot of work.
Our offense and our free throws is what's struggling. Time now is to work on it.
Square up, take your time, take some breaths.
It's all right, it's all right.
It's okay, Day.
What they're trying to teach us is making a free throw while we're tired. You know, you miss it, all right, we're running. You go get our blood pumping, all right, now you're up on the line. Make it. If you miss it, oh, we're running again.
You got this, come on. I'll do every one of these with you. Mac, he was the one that had troubles and left in the ball team. Not good enough for his mom, not good enough for his dad. Now he's not good enough for the school. And so he was looking for a way out.
Come on, Mac! Push it, Mac! You got this, Mac!
Mac, he tried to quit, but I made a petition. I said, Mac, I said, you know, you can't just quit on us, you know? You're part of our team now. You're one of us. If I get everybody to sign this, you're gonna have to join again. Everybody was like, nope, Mac's not quitting.
This is game-like scenario, Mac. The fourth quarter, we're gonna be tired, our legs are gonna be shot. This is where you want to center yourself and focus. I told him, we love you, buddy. You're needed and you're wanted here. Nice, Mac. I was really proud of him. My heart grew 20-fold tonight because of that, because he was back here. It's not about teaching these guys to win games and, you know, and all that. It's teaching them something in life that they can take forever and hold on to that.
It just means more than basketball. Basketball is, you know, kind of therapy. My name is Camus McClure, 24 years old. I've always wanted to be a coach. You know, that's one of my first goals. There's just not enough role models, male role models, here on the reservation, really. I can relate to these kids a lot in a way.
Camus, he has worked at learning to be a coach, and I think he is what these kids need right now because of his age and, you know, the things that he's gone through in his life.
From my experience, I felt like nobody, you know, really cared for me. I felt like I was a ghost at times. One day it just hit me where I almost, you know, took my life. I'm glad that DJ as well is showing these boys that it's okay, you know, to let your feelings out. If it wasn't for basketball, I really wouldn't be here today.
Hang them up so they dry out. Thank you.
It was wet.
Well, who wants to explain what we learned about?
Right now, we're smoking the hides. It makes it obviously look better and smell better, and it adds a protection against like water.
Yeah, if you get it wet, then it won't harden up as much, I guess.
Yeah.
We have such a rich culture and history. There's all kinds of things to do here. To get our young people reconnected to that, to feel the value, is important.
What I want to do is go ahead and untie the bottom here and look up inside and see how dark it is. So this has been a very many weeks in process. We started in September. We met maybe once a week, all day, for about 9 classes.
We meet every Thursday.
So yeah, so we get our animals hunt them in a good way, and then teach them how to skin the hide really good, because you don't want to nick them and cut them up.
Ooh, oh no.
Really, at this point, they're damp and wet, so we want to keep them not all scrunched up because they have to dry out.
No problem at all.
Okay, so when we come back from lunch, we'll have our hides to cut up, and then you'll get to go home with
You guys can grab your cars.
These kids worked really hard. They're all gonna get probably a quarter of the hide, so they'll be able to take it home and do something beautiful with it.
This whole week has been an emotional week, this whole season. And I mean the winter holiday season and all that's been very tough. Tomorrow is the exact same day, I believe it was Friday last year, was the day I got the call about my son, and that wasn't doing too well. So
DJ losing his son. Everyone deals with things in their own way. And I think he's a pretty strong person, and if you tell him that, he'll tell you I'm not strong. But he doesn't see what I see, him overcoming and going through.
it's hard to find a man that does it for his kids, his family, you know, and not himself, not money, you know, any of that stuff. My boy in the past inspires me to do all that. All my kids do, you know. I know he's watching us and all that. And I know he was proud of me here, you know, and being a teacher and being involved. He was really proud, so, and a coach, and I know he would want me to keep doing it, you know, for his brothers, for him, for myself, you know, for his family, our family.
He's a single parent, a father. You don't see that much in our society at large. So yeah, he's human. It's gonna be hard, and he's gonna have rough times, and he's gonna, you know, need a moment. But the thing with him is, he's tough. I mean, he's not gonna give up, and he's always gonna stand up and dust himself off and try his best to be there for his children, for his significant other, for the kids in his school.
Whatever I can offer. Like I said, I can't offer much, but maybe my time, maybe my words, you know, and I hope that's the most important thing, because that's, through my life, those are the biggest things that was given to me and that I took and that helped me grow, was words and time spent with me, you know, and all that.
Our children today are lost because we're lost as people, because we're waiting for somebody to tell us what to do. When I grew up, we knew what to do. We knew our responsibilities. And now, a lot of our children, they feel like they don't belong because their parents, their grandparents, didn't pass down something that was taken from them.
People need to be re-educated on the fact that the federal government never gave Indians anything. We've gone through years and years of intergenerational trauma, and with that comes addictions and mistrust and different forms of dysfunction of how you deal with your grandparents' trauma, your great-grandparents' trauma.
Like, how do we change this, you know? We have so many things in this world, Tweagle, the res, and it's going around every day, you know. revolving around and around and around, and life's just happening, you know, jobs, daily lives, no jobs, unemployment rate is high, you know.
How do you deal with the dysfunction that happens from that, whether it's sex abuse or child abuse or neglect, or, you know, just not knowing how to nurture, not knowing how to say I love you, not knowing how to hear I love you. Those are all things that happen, and it doesn't happen in one day. It happens over generations.
And all these problems are stemming out from here. And we look at counselors and people that come in from, you know, wherever they be, Florida, whatever, and they come in, they try helping, giving us the tools, which are good. But to break that cycle of bad things that's happening, do we break it from the outside or do we break it from the inside?
A major part of it is understanding who you are, where you come from, what your ancestors did, and how we survive in this brutal world. I mean, it's a brutal world. And to get our young people reconnected to that, to feel the value, we have to help them feel like they belong.
It's not going to be a quick fix. It's got to be a generational fix.
We have to build relationships. I think we have to build connections with people. Help find our way back to who we were.
So if we can give these kids the tools to break that generational trauma of families being involved in alcohol and drugs and all that, then maybe those cycles will be broken in the future.
You're right there.
Any of the kids that are tribal members, they have an IM account. Money goes every year into this account, and then it builds interest. When they turn 18, you know, they get a huge chunk of money.
You got a lot of rules when you're 18, and a lot of things you have to be doing. So I'm gonna turn 18, and I'll have 18 money. About 38 grand. This is the only time in my life I'm ever gonna have this much money. I wanna go to New York and live there instead of being on this res. Because the res is toxic. I don't wanna tell no one either, because they're gonna find a way to stop me.
Oh, you're playing? Yeah. Awesome. Come on. Love that too.
Me too. Hey,
how
ready? Alright, circle up, guys. Circle up.
Okay, I'll tell them.
Today's about having fun, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Win or lose, go out, play hard. All season, we're gonna find our positions, our roles, you know, on this team.
You guys make your good passes, dribble to your passes, set good screens. Don't force nothing. If it's not there, then don't put it there.
That team did not beat you guys. You guys beat yourself. We had 21 turnovers. Keep your head up, okay? I know. Remember what you can always work on and what we need to work on. Anything you have to say, bring it to the table at practice, okay? We gotta work extra and we gotta work hard if we wanna go out and start winning now and at least making good games and all that. I said I'd rather lose by 1 point than lose by 30 points or even 20 points, you know.
Keyshawn's his kind of seasoned. He's been through a lot in his young life. He's suffered a lot of trauma. These suicides profoundly affected him.
So figure out what she's asking him for.
I'm kind of concerned with what's going on in my life, and it set me back in school because, you know, I was still going through it with my cousin Josiah, you know, when he did it, and me and Walter were just getting close, you know. He was practically living with me.
I think those things are big obstacles. There were big things in his life that he had to overcome. He's working through them.
This needs to be signed by Rod.
Okay.
Well, I went in to ask Claudette if I was still on track with graduating. She said that I need my last 2 periods or else it's not gonna happen this year. What could I do about that? I'm at 54.
So you need 60. 6 and 54, you need 60.
I kind of realized why I shouldn't have slacked in the past, but all I could do now is try to make it up. I'm not really worried about that one right now. I'm more worried about trying to get this one done.
What do you need in there? What are you doing? I mean,
moccasins.
Do one and start another one. That's worth 37.
I'll have to talk to her really quick.
Is this Urban Cowboy?
Can't really do nothing about it but push forward now. I'm trying as hard as I can to finish out my points.
If he puts in the effort and takes care of business, hopefully he'll step up and do what he needs to do to graduate.
I wish I didn't have to make this decision, but it's kind of something that just has to be done, you know? Because it's either play basketball or graduate, and I want to graduate instead.
In the wintertime, there's a place down there in the Bitterroot Valley. There's a hot springs down there. They call it Sleeping Hot Springs. It's part of our ecosystem. It's part of our creation story also, where the coyote killed one of the, what they call the people eaters there. Tricked him into going into the boiling water. But once he did that, the coyote said, from here on when the humans arrive, this will be a place of medicine in this hot water, hot springs, and heal themselves, heal their aches and pains.
During practice, I was upset. It's because I got news that my mom tried to commit suicide. They were telling me, your mom is in the hospital and she might be going to treatment. At this age, I mean, I'm just starting my life. I shouldn't be getting all that. It just hurts. It sucks. My brother and sister shouldn't go through that. And that I wasn't there for them. I was at practice, like, doing my own thing when all that happened. And I should have been at home with them. Like, I should have been stopping my mom from doing that instead of just worrying about myself. This is the 3rd time she's tried. The 3rd time.
I love Mom to the most. I love her like she's...
I'm scared Tyler might be, like, scarred. And I can see it because he just sleeps all day now and tries to hide from me.
Honestly, I don't want to talk about it.
Why?
I just don't.
Look at me.
The first time it was scary, but this time, I know it's not gonna stop. The thing Dad told me is, if she ever tries again, don't take her decision away.
That's why he's out of our life, though.
I don't even know.
Ty.
He's practically
Ty.
telling me to let Mom do that, and I'm not.
I'm not hearing your shit right now. Just be a man about it and talk it.
Fucking can't. You guys,
What?
You guys are good at hiding it. I'm just not good at all at hiding it. So one day I think it's going to happen again, and that day we won't be able to stop it, and then we're gonna have to live with life without her.
I told her it's like dropping a rock into a river or into a lake. There's gonna be ripples around it, and that's gonna affect everybody around you. Every time she was drunk. And that wasn't her.
Until afterwards.
No.
She was sober. And
No.
she said she still wanted to do it. And you were in there talking to her, crying, and said, no, Mom. She still wanted to do it, even when she was sober.
No, she wasn't sober. She wasn't. You don't know the fucking truth. Don't try to argue with me. She was drugged out of it. How else are you supposed to fucking get like that? She was drugged out of it. What are you talking about? She was coming down from the drugs she took. And you're sitting there thinking, oh, she was sober.
Yeah, you know most.
I do know most.
I know you do.
If God was real, and someone you love is hurting, or even dying, on the verge of dying, and you pray for them to get better, and they die, then what's the point of praying for that? If there was really a God, he would have done something about that.
My daughter once told me, nobody cares about you until you're dead. And it made me realize, like, we're glorifying suicide. To a certain extent, you know, we have to address that somebody's gone. But we can't make it like it was okay for them to do it. And we all have our different beliefs in what happens. What I've been taught with the suicides is you don't get to transition. That you wander this earth without being able to communicate with anybody. Wouldn't it be the worst if you took your own life because you couldn't handle feelings, but the only way to communicate with anything else was to feel?
We've seen a drastic increase over the last 5 years in suicide and suicide attempts. We've always had the issue amongst Indian people and within our communities, but lately we've had a lot more of it. We, in law enforcement, of course, attribute it to increased methamphetamine on the reservation. The availability has risen. Now, I'm not saying that the people that we have lost or the people that have attempted suicide are users, but it's in our community. That's one of the factors that we think is attributed to the increased rate.
Oftentimes, it's the first answer that comes to their mind. If I wasn't here, if I just take my life, it would solve the problem. I'd quit hurting my family, I'd quit hurting everybody, I'd quit hurting myself. That's one of the characteristics of meth. During 1 week, 9 new tribal members were born. And of those, 7 of them were drug affected. 1 was my grandson. And as a tribal council person, that was probably the most difficult part of the job, was trying to find a solution to that, trying to work on it, trying to do something.
all that stuff that comes into play, the methamphetamine, the heroin, just the dysfunctions that come just with all of that. It's all like the perfect storm for now. We have people feeling like they have no reason to be here.
Answer these questions, there's no essay, nothing. That's it. You're 100% signed, leave now.
Alright.
This is your graduation ticket.
Alright. Alright, thank you, Red.
You good?
Yeah.
Alright, let's let this go.
My last contract that I need to graduate.
You just got it?
Yep. Now I'm just gonna turn it in.
Keyshawn's an example of resiliency because he picked himself up, dusted himself off, made a goal that I don't care what anyone says, that it doesn't look likely that I'm not going to graduate. I know I'm going to do it. I know I'm going to graduate. And that's the attitude he had. And guess what? He's going to get his diploma.
When the boys say that basketball is their therapy, what they're saying is it's the way I release all my stress of everyday life.
I'm gonna say none of these guys this year have had a breakout game. It's bound to happen, and it's bound to happen. I can see improvement. I can see them trusting us more. Just getting them to believe and imagine, you know, it's possible.
Travis, I know he's worried about his mom a lot. I know he can do it.
You know, they're trying to be adults and kids at the same time. And a lot of times they don't get to be kids because they're thrown in the real world a little bit too early.
Good shot, Travis.
They want to be a part of something, you know, so they have something every weekend. They show up.
It doesn't matter if they win this year every game or lose every game. It's that they got up off their asses and they fought for what they wanted.
Nice pass!
Especially at the first couple shots, he was like, I'm feeling it, you know, and everything. I'm proud that he found his shot. Super big, you know. The team has been waiting for him to do that because they know he can do that. I know he can do that. I'm pushing him all summer long to be that, you know, do that, so.
You know, athletics teaches you dedication, commitment, responsibility, all the good things in life that they can carry with you beyond sports.
When I play basketball, I'm a whole different person when it comes to being on the court. It just changes me. It gets me hyped and gives me an adrenaline rush. Like I don't care about anything that's happening on the side of the court. I just care about what's happening on the court.
Just maybe for that hour, you know, his mind is off everything else. Basketball is like a brotherhood. We all have our own problems, but we stand strong as one.
I believe sports plays a big part in purpose. I think it does wonders for the boys. I'm a mental health therapist here at Two Eagle. I first of all let them know that they have value and purpose in this life. Most of the players have been in my office. It starts at home to have good role models and good mentors. What do you want to do? What do you want to be? What are you dreaming about?
I asked them a question. I noticed most of them have never ever been asked by their parents, what do you want to be in life? And when I asked them that, they were like,
What do you mean, what do I want to be in life, you know? Nobody's ever asked me that. I didn't think I was gonna be anything, you know?
Twiggle River School, it started out as an alternative school where kids that couldn't make it in public school or had a hard time for whatever reason, they went to Twiggle.
These kids grow up in some of the most broken homes I've ever seen. They come to school, some of them are not kept because they don't have a shower at the house. They're hungry. They'll, eat as much as they can when they can. Parents who are alcoholics, who are druggies, who don't come home or come home and beat the hell out of them.
That's perfect. Yeah. That looks good. So, Dalen, what did you learn this morning? Tell them something.
I learned how to cut meat properly now.
In Salish, we say steadily, and we're rolling that out. We're cutting it up our arm to roll that out.
In 1994, I moved here. I came here, I noticed the difference right away. It was all Indian school. It wasn't like any public school. It was run by the tribe, had an Indian school board.
Go down and fillet it out. You lift it? Kind of?
No.
No?
I'm like right now.
Okay.
Without culture and language in the school has no reason to be here. And that's the first and foremost is the culture and language, and then build the academic component after we get them on solid ground.
When I come to Twiggle, I found my culture again. I found, where my heart wanted to be, what was maybe missing that I didn't know, that I was searching for.
I look to my culture and I look to my elders, and I think about what they've been through, and today, they're still here. They made it through whatever happened throughout their lifetime. So that's how I like to look at it, to help my peers now, so that, I can put it in their hearts that, yeah, we can make it through too,
This place is good to us, so we got to get back to where this place is good to us. And everybody says, I want to get away from the res, I want to get away from the res. There's trauma. You have to get away from trauma. You have to repair the trauma. It's not the place that does it. This place can heal you. I truly believe there's healing here. I truly believe there's beautiful things right here at home.
Hi. How are you? Pretty good.
Good. How's it going?
I don't even know what to get.
You don't know what to get?
No.
We won't do a skin fade, but maybe start with the one.
Yeah, it's like our last district tournaments. It's pretty big around here. For our seniors, like me, it's our last time on the court, to play and all that. And we this is the last time for everything. It's good it's over, but then it's also man, my last high school
realizing
game.
it.
It sucks. Ty.
Yeah.
You look fresh. You look like you're a freshman now. You don't look like an 8th grader.
For the boys to dedicate their season to Walter and Josiah is healing. It's a good thing. And they can't measure their success on wins and losses.
It's more like a man.
There you go. You like it?
Yes. Thank you for making this guy look like a man. Hey.
If their heart is in it and they work hard and dedicate it to those boys and their families, that's a win.
I had one away game scheduled, but then I switched. So this actually is my first game, and it's the last away game for the season, so. Like last weekend, I couldn't go watch. I thought I could handle, but. So I just sat out in the lobby and. Driving, basketball. It's a step forward sure, it's helping, but, like I said, it's just, I have those moments where I haven't gone to the gravesite, just to visit him, but it just hits me at random times. But I'm sure in time that'll change, but right now that's just the way I'm feeling still.
You can lose the whole season, but once it comes to district time, you could come out winning it.
We showed a lot of heart this season. Could have just left and said, I'm done, because we were losing so much, but we stuck it out.
Knowing that you made it through. After we lost a few people, our school kind of learned how to, keep yourself together in hard moments.
We're not gonna lay down, we're gonna play to the end.
What do you guys think? Hey. I'm proud as shit as you guys. Sometimes in life we work hard and we fall short, man. We get back up and we continue. We continue. I am privileged and blessed to have had you guys in my life. Don't live life with regrets. Don't live life with resentment at all. We keep moving on and we keep bettering ourselves. This doesn't end here. You guys are gonna go off on life, you older boys. And the things I talk to you guys about and tell you in school and in the locker room, you continue that. You continue to push. You guys have families of your own, you continue to push for them. Those are the things that matter. Heart is what matters. Life is made for the strong. And you guys are all strong. You know how I know that? Because we won one game all year, but you guys still go out and give it your all. That's what I mean. Keep going. Keep going. There's a lot more life to live. We got a word in our language, it's all called incluism. Means everybody coming together as one. That's what we do as a family. That's why the Creator gave us new days. Always make ourselves better. You're in control. Ball is in your court now.
I'm going to Elmo today to pay my respects to Josiah and Walter. Not only important to me, I think it's important to our team.
You drift into the sky to meet the man who waits by those big old golden gates.
We've been through traumatic things and it hurt us pretty bad, and we finished out the year giving it our all, coming together as one. Yeah, just very emotional. Just seeing those boys.
Oh, baby sister, we know the God's got mercy.
At times I felt like it wasn't enough, but I know I done my part as their coach and their friend. They're looking down and they're proud of us.
It's just being a single mom trying to make it and how hard it is here and I just wanted to get out of here, and the hardest thing is getting out of the res. I've been through this scene of partying and letting myself go because I couldn't deal with being alone and taking care of my children, but I got a second chance, so this is my time to be a mom. What are you gonna tell me?
I'm going to New York. And
Get off of the reservation.
yeah.
I'm happy for you. You need to get off of the reservation. Experience life. If I would have stayed away, I would have had a better life, but it just keeps pulling on you.
I feel like I'm gonna go up there and then I'm gonna end up being a bum.
You can't be a bum.
This 40 grand ain't gonna last me that long there.
Not in your real life. On the res maybe, but not in a big city. I want all of my kids to leave. I don't want them to stay here. I want them all to have a life outside of the res. Don't make the same mistakes as I did.
Right now we're putting this little one up, and then we're gonna put the big one out here, so then after graduation people can take pictures by it if they want.
Things kind of work cyclical. I really believe that we're in that process of we're coming out the other side of this. As a whole, I see a lot of healing took place in the school and the community, and I think people are ready to move on. I think this year I could see that manifest itself, whereas now we're moving on, looking forward to other things, and we can look back on anniversaries that we've had, Walter's birthday and Josiah. There's more smiles and laughter and good remembrances as opposed to real heavy heart and grief. So I think that process of grief is running its course and they're moving away from it, and that's what it should be. I'd like to thank all the parents and guardians and families and friends for coming out this afternoon to support this graduating class of 2019.
I think when you go through hard things and you learn to strive through that adversity with it and overcome those things, it helps build a character inside of a person that can never be touched.
Keyshawn Eugene Burke.
The whole reason our basketball season was the way it was because we were all just kind of finding ourselves again. You know, it's good to win and everything, but it's kind of just to be there with each other, you know. We lost a few people for that to happen, obviously.
Today was kind of tough. We all know he's here watching over everybody still.
We wanted a very respectful, in a subtle way, acknowledge Walter, so we put a chair in there with the graduating class.
There's a lot to see out there, you know, so I hope they take advantage of before they move on. You know, I just don't want them to think this is the end, and, you know, there's a lot more out in the world to see besides the reservation, you know, and I hope they, you know, take that opportunity, you know.
And everybody's trying to get back to their lives, you know, and I'm trying to do the same thing. It's still dark here, but we're living, we're surviving, we're moving forward. We have to. I hear my son. I listen. I can hear him.
My name's Josiah. Josiah what?
God, I miss him.
Hey,
If you feel depression, don't be scared to ask someone to help. Because it's not just you, you're not alone, you're with everybody. It's your life. Your life's more important than anything right now. If you lose it, then you can't get it back.
Ya ere we yara yo, I yara we hayo we yara. Ya ere we yara yo, I yara we hayo we ya. I yara, I yara oh hey hey hayo hayo we ya. Hi-yara, hi-yara, hey, hey, hi-yo, hi-yo, ya, hi-yo, hey, ya, hey, oh. Oh, brother, you left us too soon. Why did you have to go? Why did it have to be you? We love you, miss you, our brothers. You will always be